Good evening, everyone. I'm Sangeetha Priya from SNS College of Engineering, working in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, including IoT. Today, we are going to see about the platform for IoT development. We all know that IoT plays the major role in the current situation. The home automation, irrigation, all the automation depends upon the IoT. And now we are going to see what are all the platforms that we are using in our IoT for IoT development. The first one is introduction. API endpoints for the platform services, the point at which an application programming interface, the codes that enables two software programs to communicate with each other, connects the software program. API works by sending the request for the information from the web application or web server and the receiving a response. In other words, API endpoints are the specific digital locations where the request or the API call for the information are sent by one program to retrieve the digital resource that exists. The endpoint specify where APIs can access resources and help guarantee the proper function of the incorporated software. And API performance depends upon its capacity to successfully communicate with API endpoints. The next one is the software program typically have multiple API endpoints. For example, Instagram endpoints include one that enables the business and the creators to measure media and profile interaction, other that lets them moderate comments and their reply, and a third that enables them to discover hashtag media. Here is the diagram which explains the API works. First one is the application and next one is the API. It connects to the server and the database. For this all we use is common as internet. Next one is API endpoint important. The communication between the system. The API endpoint serve as the specific digital location where client requests for the information are sent by one program to retrieve the digital resource that exists there. There are the points at which the client and the server communicate enables two applications to share the resource. Proper functioning of software. API endpoints ensure the software interacting with the API is functioning correctly. They are crucial to API success and help find the exact location of the resource to be accessed by the API. Access to the resource. Endpoint designate where API can access resource and help guarantee the proper functioning of incorporated software. For example, there are how the API can access the resource they need for a server to perform their task. Next one is interaction and the integration. The API endpoints are important because they help point out the specific location of the resource that need to be accessed and ensure the software work with the API as designed. There are also critical for programming to work as they facilitate communication between different systems. The next one is testing and the automation. The automated testing for the API endpoints along with the monitoring of API design is essential for ensuring the proper functioning of APIs. The API endpoints are important for setting an automated API testing in continuous integration or continuous delivery pipeline to run tests on endpoint before end release. The next topic is ease of use and the documentation. Properly defined API endpoints with a clear document can make it easy for the developers to understand and integrate it with an API. The API documentation typically describes each endpoint, its parameters, accepted response, and usage example, reducing the learning curve for the developers. Till now we have the next point is API endpoints works. A system that communicates through APIs or integrated system. An API endpoints are specific endpoint URLs within web development that are used to interact with the functionality provided by the application. One side of the API connection sends the information to the API and it is called the server. The other side, called the client, makes the request and manipulates the API. The server side that provides the request information or resource is the API endpoint. For an effective request to be processed by the endpoint, the client must provide an URL, method list of headers and the body. The headers provide metadata about a request and the body holds the data sent by the client to the server. The endpoints works in the tandem with an API method. The methods are permitted requests that can be made such as get, delete, patch or post. The method, often called verbs in the communication syntax, are often placed before the specific endpoints in the full URL. Thank you.